माता जी हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, संडे प्रणाम, जय श्री कृष्ण।
दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mata Jai Srila Prabhupada. Devotees are joining today. Should we do it? No.
Yeah, I think that some of the devotees went to Sadhu Sangha Prabhupada, but here the devotees that are joining,
Mm.
but not sure about the Indian devotees that are attending. Let me message you.
Mm. So should we still do it or postpone it?
Whatever you decide to do.
Mm. Anand Sai Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Jai Srila Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Any changes, Prabhuji, today's session?
No, we were just thinking this was 10, 11 and devotees are not joining. So we were just considering if we should do it or not.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji. Okay. As
So,
you desire, Prabhuji. Like.
Soumya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
I hope you're doing well.
Yes, Prabhuji, doing okay.
Maybe we'll speak sometime this week, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Whenever you have time, just let me know.
Maybe Shokumai Radha Mataji, can you arrange a time for me to speak with her?
Sure, Prabhupada.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. I guess we will continue. Om Agyantimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripattamaham bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So today we will be covering the last chapter of the second canto. Last week we saw the interaction or conversation between Brahma and Narayan, and we saw the four seed verses of Bhagavatam. Very important verses. We saw them from the perspective of um, Sambandha, Abhidya, and Prayojana. From the perspective of our relationship, the relationship the Lord has with everything, with material and spiritual world, the process, and the goal. And the goal was the summary. The goal was to see Krishna within and outside, or to see Krishna everywhere. And Prabhupada describes that is possible by Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. When the heart is filled with love for Krishna, then one can see Krishna everywhere. And we see those qualities in the pure devotees of the Lord, seeing Krishna everywhere. And then the process is defined as doing things which are favorable for bhakti and not doing things which are not favorable for bhakti. And sometimes it may be a little difficult. Mm. And that's why Rupa Goswami says that one must be tolerant and continue doing things favorable and not engaging in things which are unfavorable. And it is then Narayan, Mahavishnu, he says one should continue this till this point. And this point is till one is able to see Krishna inside and outside of everything. Till that time one should continue this. And the first two verses of Chatushloki Bhagavatam describes our relationship. That anything, if anything is seen not in relationship with the Lord, then the Lord says, if anything which is seen not in relationship to me should be seen as the influence of my external energy. And then the first verse of Bhagavatam, Chatushloki Bhagavatam said, I existed before this creation took place. I'm only existing now in this creation. And after this creation is destroyed, I only remain to exist. So that was the relationship, that how the Lord is eternal, everything comes from the Lord, and everything has a relationship with the Lord, that everything is the energy of the Lord. And when something is not seen with respect relationship with Krishna, then that is influence of external energy. And because the Lord is always existing, past, present, future, both inside and outside, the goal is to be able to perceive him everywhere, to see him inside and outside. That is the third verse. And the fourth verse is, and hence one should, the words used are performance and non-performance, whichever Jiva Goswami explains. Performance means doing things that is favorable to this conclusion and not doing things which won't lead to this conclusion. And one should continue doing this till this point, that one is able to see the Lord everywhere. So this is the sum and substance of Bhagavatam. Mhm. And then soon after, the Lord disappeared, and at another point of time, Narada is described as very obedient son of Brahma, self-control, uh, mm, grave, and various qualities, submissive, various qualities of Narad Muni, devotional, are described. And then he approached Brahma, and he says, can you explain to me what Narayan has explained to you? And mm, and Brahmaji expanded these basic concepts into 10 divisions, um, or the 10 topics of Bhagavatam. And this chapter begins with the conversation between Brahma and Narada, and Brahma is explaining the 10 topics of Bhagavatam. Um, okay, so that's the summary. Now, what are those 10 topics? The first topic is called Sarga. The second topic is called Visarga. So Sarga is the primary creation, and Visarga is the secondary creation. or Sarga is that which is created by the Lord, and Visarga is that which is created using the elements that have already been created. Example of Sarga is like earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. These were not created by Brahma. They are created before the universe existed. Then the sense objects, uh, mm, all these things, and the object of the senses. All these things, they are total 16 in number. All these things were created by the Lord. And Visarga is anything that can be anything from a combination of these things is Visarga. Like for example, we made a car and we used Pancha Mahabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether. The body is created by Brahma, or after Brahma came, in his direction, this body is created. But this body is also made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So this body is Visarga. But the mind, intelligence, false ego, they were created by the Lord Himself. Mhm. So the basic elements are Sarga, created by the Lord. And you can use those elements. The whole variety in this word is um, sense objects, and uh, everything is made of Panch Mahabhutas, all the forms of animals, demigods, humans, birds, reptiles, aquatics, everything is Visarga. The different bodies are all different combination of Panch Mahabhutas. So that is Sarga and Visarga. Primary creation created by the Lord Mahavishnu, secondary creation created by Brahma, that is Visarga. And um, then this topic speaks up. Then Bhagavatam speaks about 4 more topics, total 8 more, divided into 4 and 4. Then the next 4, the first is called Sthanam. Sthanam means the place, Sthan. So Sthanam. So it describes there are the real Sthanam for the living entities Vaikuntha. Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijayaha, Bhagavatam says. So the real place, the real Sthan for the living entity is Vaikuntha, because that's where we belong to. Even if we are here temporary, and this whole thing is lost. But our actual position is in Vaikuntha. Also, the geography of the universe, that is also Sthanam, like the temporary Sthanam and permanent Sthanam. So Bhagavatam speaks about the various planetary system. Bhagavad speaks about Vaikuntha. Like we see that description of Vaikuntha is also given. And Bhagavatam speaks about all the 14 planetary systems and what happens there. How big is the earth or sun or rotation or everything, the whole universe, that all comes under Sthanam. So this is one topic of Bhagavatam, other than Sarga and Visarga. Then other is Poshanam. Poshanam means how the Lord maintains. Any problem comes, what does the Lord do? Lord come and maintains the universe now. The earth was suffering because of Hiranyaksha. Lord came and established earth back and killed um, Hiranyaksha. Ravana was giving trouble, and he wanted, or Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to kill Brahma, take the post of Brahma, and kill Vishnu also. He didn't want to kill Brahma, he wanted to replace Brahma. He wanted to become Brahma, and he wanted to kill Vishnu, and he wanted to be the supreme controller. Then the Lord maintained the earth to the original position. Whenever there is Vinashaya Chadushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So the Lord maintains everything. And also, the Lord maintains all living entities literally, like the food is provided by Narayan, but He maintains the cosmic order. It is also said the wind is blowing out of fear of the Lord. So in this way, everything is happening under the direction of the Lord. Any problem, the Lord interferes. So that's how He is maintaining everything. So that is called Poshanam. So how the Lord is maintaining this entire universe, that is also a subject of Bhagavatam. What the universe is made up of, different planetary system, that is called Sthanam. How the Lord is maintaining this universe, that is called Poshanam. And then 2 topics speaks about the living entity. One is what is the dharma of living entity, or it's called Manvantar. Manvantar means Sadharma. What is the perfect occupational duty? And we see that Bhagavatam begins with the question, what is ultimate good for all living entity? What a living entity should do, that is for the ultimate benefit. So this guidance of how a living entity should live when he is in this world is called Manvantar. So this is the fifth topic of Bhagavatam. There is Sarga, there is Visarga, secondary creation by Brahma. Sarga is creation by the Lord Narayan. There is Thanam, the description of Vaikuntha and the description of this universe. And then there is Poshanam, how the Lord is maintaining from all evil elements and literally maintaining all living entities also. Then there is Manvantar, the living entity having fallen in this material world. What is the perfect occupational duty for him? And Bhagavatam also describes Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radho Sakje. The best uh, occupational duty for all living entity having come to this material world is to render loving devotional service, which should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. But our devotional service is many times interrupted. But we see Maharaj Parikshit devotional service was uninterrupted. He was not even tormented by sleep and hunger, and he was constantly absorbed in devotional service. Very, very high stage. But in that stage, one can be fully satisfied. Like we see that state in Raghunath Das Goswami, uninterrupted devotional service he would render on the bank of Radha Kund. But that is a very advanced stage. But I mean, we are not there yet. But what is the perfect occupational duty, perfect dharma for a living entity, is the fifth discussion of Bhagavatam. Then the sixth discussion of Bhagavatam is how the living entity are influenced by the material energy and they develop material desires. Like we see, Bhagavatam also speaks about Maharaj Pururava, how he was attracted to Urvashi and what anxiety and suffering he went through. Or there are many. Um, mm, 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 uh, there is Gajendra who was trying to enjoy this world. Um, but of course, he was a devotee from the past life. Then Pururava, then there is King Prachini Bhari, how he would engage in fruitive activities of killing the animals, and how he was purified by Narad Muni, how Maharaj Dhruva had a fruitive desire of a kingdom, and how he was purified under guidance of Narad Muni by devotional service. So this is all called Uti. Uti means impetus for activity, desire for fruitive work. And where does this come from? The three modes of material nature. And what is the effect of those desires, and how um, the real goal is devotional service. So that Uti, the impetus for activity, for karma vasana. What is Uti? Uti is described as karma vasana, the vasana for doing various activities in this world for some gains. So that is also described in Bhagavatam. Then the last four section, the seventh, sorry. There is Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Manvantara, and Uti. These are six. And the seventh is Ishanu Katha. Ishanu Katha means Katha about Isha. Isha is God, or the pastimes of the Lord. The entire 10th canto is Ishanu Katha. 9th canto contains Ishanu Katha about Lord Ram and various cantos. The pastimes of the Lord. 7th canto contains Ishanu Katha about Lord Nrsimhadev. And Ishanu Katha, Prabhupada describes, also includes the pastimes of the pure devotees, like Bhishma Dev, like Kunti. So these are all activities of the pure devotees. Activities of Maharaj Parikshit is described. That is also called Ishanu Katha, because pure devotees are included within Isha. The Lord means with his entire antaraj. So, and Bhagavatam is filled with Ishanu Katha. Then the eighth topic of Bhagavatam is Nirodha. Nirodha means winding up, or how the universe is destroyed and how the living entity merges into the body of Mahavishnu. The annihilation, the process of complete annihilation that naturally we know We are hearing, and it's described in Bhagavatam, Lord breathes in, how Rudra destroys through his fire the whole universe, and everything is merged. This is called Nirodha. And then the ninth is Mukti, um, how the living entity can be liberated from this conditioned world and can be permanently situated in loving service to the Lord. That is called Mukti or liberation. So how the living entity can give up changing of his bodies and be permanently situated in loving service. That is the ninth topic of Bhagavatam. And the last topic of Bhagavatam, which is the most important topic of Bhagavatam, is Ashraya. Ashraya means the shelter of the soul, the shelter of all living entities. And we see like Gajendra in great difficulty and had many fruitive desires, took Ashraya of the Lord, delivered. And we see Maharaj Ambarish, um, when he was challenged with by the weapon of Durvasa, took Ashraya of the Lord. We see Prahlad Maharaj, when he was put into difficulty, he took Ashraya of the Lord. Materna Krishna Parato Swatova. So he took Ashraya. Our Acharya says actually Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee of Lord Krishna. Materna Krishna Parato Swatova. Clearly, Prahlad Maharaj says to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu says, my dear, wonderful, lovely child Prahlad, what did you learn in school? What is your favorite topic? And Prahlad Maharaj says, Materna Krishna Parato Swatova. The attachment to Krishna is not developed by one's own endeavor or by others' efforts. Those who are engaged in chewing what has already been chewed. Mito vipadyeta grihavritanam adanta gobhe vishatam tamishram purna punarcharvita charvananam grihandhakupam. Those who are engaged in materialistic life, grihandhakupam, um, and tamishram, because of ignorance of who they really are and what they are doing in this materialistic life because of ignorance. Puna puna charvita charvanana. And they are engaged in again and again deriving material pleasure from the sense object, which they have done many times and were not satisfied. They are again trying to derive the pleasure from the same things. Puna puna charvita charvanana. For those people, my dear father, attachment to Krishna is never developed. So Hiranyakashipu, like a snake, became very envious of Prahlad and threw him from his lap, and he rolled down. Then he said, you are Prahlad, you are like the poisonous limb of the body. Like, Hiranyakashipu gives an example. When some limb of a body is poisonous, it has to be amputated, cut off. Like we see the example, even Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, he was having this cancer, and the cancer was spreading in the leg, and um, um, very painful actually. Cancer spread in the leg, and from the leg the cancer was spreading throughout the body. It was growing like anything. So doctor said there is the only way Maharaj can survive is if the Maharaj leg is cut off. How painful it is if somebody says, our leg has to be cut off. The doctor said that is the only way Maharaj can survive if the leg is cut off. And then Maharaj smiled, and Maharaj said, do whatever it takes. Maharaj had no problem. And then they actually cut off the leg of Maharaj. And then there was a Govardhan Shila. And Param Puja Bhakti Tirth Maharaj would do parikrama with the clutcher in on one leg. But somehow the cancer was not stopping. It was spreading. Finally, doctor says that we cannot do anything. That's when Radhanath Maharaj came and was there with Bhakti Tirth Maharaj till the last minute of his journey to Vaikuntha, journey to Golok Vrindavan. So Hiranyakashipu give this as an example. Hiranyakashipu says, if a limb becomes poisonous, the best is to cut off the limb. Likewise, Prahlad, although belong my own son and belonging to my dynasty, has become poisonous because of his intelligence, his influenced because by the enemy's influence. So best is to kill him, otherwise he will spread the poison of bhakti in the entire dynasty, Asura Kula. So he told everybody, kill him, and they tried all the ways to kill Prahlad, and no, but nothing could kill Prahlad. And when you want to do something and you are the supreme controller, you can do anything, and then you cannot, you did so much austerity in tapasya to get so many powers. And with all your powers, you cannot kill a small child who is just born. It was very frustrating to Hiranyakashipu. And then but he cannot do anything because whether it's spit of snakes, whether it's um, um, under the foot of an elephant, whether it is falling from the cliff, whether it is fire, whether it is burning oil, um, whether it is cutting his body with the spears and knives. So any weapon or fire weapon, or from the cliff, or anything they could think could not drown or could not affect Prahlad. So it was very frustrating for Hiranyakashipu, but then he tolerated. And then Sandana Marka said, my dear Hiranyakashipu, don't worry, we will take this child Prahlad, give us one more chance, and we will train him in politics, and we will train him in sense gratification, economic development, and all this demoniac desires. We will train him, and we'll make him like one of you. Give us one more chance. So they took Prahlad to the school, and now Prahlad started preaching to all the classmates. And Sandana Marka became very frustrated. They were like, then they came to Hiranyakashipu and they told Hiranyakashipu that now there is Hari Kirtan going on all over the school. And they are not, whatever we teach, they don't come to our classes. Rather, they go to Prahlad in the park, and then park and Prahlad gives lectures and they listen and they all do bhajan Hari Kirtan. So our entire kul is being influenced by Narayan, influence of Narayan Bhakti. So Hiranyakashipu could not tolerate this. First, only Prahlad was a problem. They tried to kill him and he could not be killed. And now all the children are devotees. And now from the children, some of the parents are getting impacted. And this was like real frustration for Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu said, now I will take the charge of killing my son. Let me see who can protect you. Prahlad, how are you invincible? I am invincible because I did 100 celestial years of tapasya. And I directly got the darshan of Brahma, and Brahma gave me all the blessings. And so I have become invincible. He was thinking like that he's invincible. He was a fool. So he says, so I have become invincible, but you are just born from a womb and haven't done anything. And why is it I'm not able to kill you? How have you become invincible? Where did you get your power from? I got my power from Brahma after severe austerities, and I got my power from Tapa, my austerities. And Brahma's Kamandalu, water from Brahma's Kamandalu. So the various sources of my power. But you and the fallen soul of our dynasty, where are you getting your power from? You said, my dear father, I am getting the power from where you are getting your power from. You didn't get your power from Brahma and others. You are getting your power from Narayan, and I am getting my power from Narayan. And that was like the epitome of all the patience and all the tolerance of Prabhupada. Shrimad Hiranyakashipu. Shrimad Hiranyakashipu. I mean, we are discussing this because we just last week we celebrated Nrsimha Chaturdashi, so it's very auspicious. Then Hiranyakashipu said, oh, where is your Narayan? Prahlad says, my lord, my dear father, he is everywhere. I know, everywhere. Then he broke the pillar, and eventually after the Lord playing with Hiranyakashipu because he wanted to fight till the dusk time, then the Lord killed him. But we see one thing which Prahlad Maharaj is showing is Ashray. And it is said that all the 9 topics of Ashray, all the 9 topics of Bhagavatam is to help one bring to the point of the 10 topic or the most important topic of Bhagavatam, which is ashray, the shelter. So again, the summary of these 10 topics is the first topic is Sarga, the creation by the Lord. The second topic is Visarga, the secondary creation by Brahma. Then the third topic is Sthanam, the structure of the universe and the description of Vaikuntha that Bhagavatam speaks. Then the fourth topic is Poshanam, how the Lord is maintaining from all evil elements. Anytime Devatas goes, any problem, Sir, Mother Earth said there is burden because of the military phalanx. And they are, and I'm unable to tolerate so many evil military phalanxes, so many things happening. Um, it's a burden on me. Mother Earth went and then Krishna came. So portion of maintaining. Brahma lost the Vedas. Then the Lord came as a Matsya, and then he also helped to free the Vedas from, I think their name, the two demons' name was Kaitaba and one more, and then give it back to Brahma. Again, Poshana. And then there is Manvantar, what is the perfect dharma for living entity, why the living entity has fruitive desires. Uti, karma vasana, what is the cause and what is the effect of karma vasana? Unsatisfied. Hiranyakashipu also is one of the example of karma vasana. And then it is said, uh, na triptya ajitendriya. Hiranyakashipu. Na triptya ajitendriya means he, because of his uncontrolled senses, he was never satisfied. Because the thing is, we are not in control now. But the people who are very powerful, they think they want to control, and they want to control, they cannot control. Things don't happen their way, and they are frustrated. Frustration is because we want to control. We see that in Hiranyakashipu, very frustrated. Ravana very frustrated. Why? I can do anything, but why is Sita not surrendering to me? Very frustrated. And then um, um, Mandodari told Ravana, return Sita. Everything will be all right. He said, no, I'm not going to return Sita. She has to surrender to me. And he told Sita also, if you don't surrender to me for 1 year, then I will eat you, because he cannot enjoy Sita, because he will die. There was a curse on him. So, okay, then I will kill you, I will eat you. If you don't surrender to me. Sita is like, never budge. So then there was a fight. Ravana said, send his sons. The sons were killed. Then the most powerful son of Ravana, um, um, uh, what is the name of most powerful son of Brahmana?
Indrajit.
Uh,
Indrajit
in
and
the
Meghnad.
Indrajit killed, and then his brother Kumkarna killed. Meghnad, Indrajit, Kumkar, one by one, all his family members finish. Vibhishan left him. Very, very frustrating actually. Mandodari said, still there is chance, Ravana. Return Sita. He said, no. And then when Ravan was killed by Ram, then Mandodari said, I told you, Ravan, for this one thing that you could not control. One, because of your uncontrolled sense, Ajitendriya. Your Indriya was not controlled because of one thing. See, now you are lying on the dust, and you were never satisfied. Because why one is not satisfied? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains one is not satisfied because one is desiring to enjoy. So one is not satisfied. And Prabhupada says in the purport that the moment we have a desire to enjoy, the mind becomes unsatisfied. Why? Because I really want to enjoy, but I cannot. But I really want to enjoy it, but I cannot. And that brings a lot of anxiety, because the living entity really wants what he wants, and he's unable to get it. So, natitya. So he's not satisfied. So this is again uti, desire for fruitive work. Then there is ishanukatha, the discussion about the Lord and pure devotee. There is nirodha. Nirodha is um, destruction of the universes, and how the living entity merges into the body of Mahavishnu. Then there is mukti, but what is the permanent situation and how they can become free from all this up and down, all this Nirodh and Uti and all these things, and attain permanent situation of liberation. And then the last and the summum bonum is Ashraya. Okay, so this is the last chapter. Of course, there is more. Um, so far, actually, we discussed first 9 verses only of this chapter, but they are very dense because they are dense. That's why we explain a little bit more. So now, um, in 25 verses, Sarga is described in detail. Sarga is the primary creation. And this primary creation is described that when the universes were created from the body of Mahavishnu, then Mahavishnu entered into each of these universes. And Mahavishnu expanded himself, entered into each of these universes, and he is called by the name Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then after, once Garbhodakshai Vishnu entered, they are all expansion of Mahavishnu into each of the individual universes. He lied down and then he filled right now Brahma is not there. So whatever creation or whatever is going to happen is Sarga only. Only after Brahma comes and Brahma performs tapa and Brahma starts creating, then Visarga comes into picture. So right now only Garbhodakshai Vishnu is there. He created Garbhodak waters, Garbhodak ocean. He's lying down there. And he is also called by the name Narayana for two reasons. Bhagavatam says one reason is Nara refers to the Lord. In one case, Nara refers to the Lord, and Nara, Ayana means Ayana means Nara is the Lord, and Nara is the water created by the Lord, or which is referred to here Garbhodak waters. So Narayana means one who is dwelling in those waters. Again, Nara is the Lord himself, and Nara is those waters, whether it is Shirodak water, which is the milk ocean, whether it is um, mm, uh, mm, there's Garbhodak, Shirodakshai, and there is Karanodak water, which is the water created by um, the Mahavishnu. That is called Karana ocean. So these are various waters. So any of these are Narayans. Narayan can be referred to Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu. All are Narayan. Waters created by Nara, the supreme living entity, uh, Mahavishnu. And Ayana means because he's living in those waters. He's dwelling. He's staying in that water. He's staying in Nara. So he's called Narayana or Narayana. That is one reason he's called Narayan. Another reason Prabhupada also gives, Nara also refers to human beings or living entities. So Narayana means one who is the shelter of all living entities. He's Narayan. So because he gives protection to everybody or he maintains everybody, all the Naras he maintains. That's why he's called Narayan. So that also comes in this chapter. So Mahavishnu entered as Garbhodakshai Vishnu into each of these universes and created the Garbhodak waters. And uh, then from that Garbhodak came the universal form of the Lord. The universal form of the Lord is also the Sarga, creation of the Lord. And then this universal form exists, but this is like now here. So there's a universal form, and this universal form, he desires to listen the Vedic sound. So when the Lord desired to hear the Vedic sound, then the Lord's ears were created. And then this is very interesting. I request devotees to hear it attentively to be able to get the concept. Then the Lord ears were created because the Lord desires to hear. So ears were created. And then there was a position created. Again, a position created who will take care of this function in this universe, the function of ear in this universe, and they are called Digdevtas. Digdevtas. Then the Lord wanted to experience the sense of touch, the hard, soft, heat, cold. He wanted to experience. And when the Lord wanted to experience, then the Lord developed skin around him. So basically, this Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Garbhodakshai Vishnu, when he started developing all these desires, then all these things starts to come. The ears were created. Then when the skin was created, then the Lord created a position who will take care of the skin, and that is Vayu, um, wind god. Wind god is a position, Vayu. Dig Devtas also, these are all positions. Then the Lord developed a desire. I wanted to see. I want to see everything in this universe. Then the Lord developed eyes, and then um, the position for, and that is the position for sun, because the eyes of the Lord is actually sun and moon. So the sun was the um, um, controlling devata, or the in charge. The devata in charge for seeing is sun. Vivasvan has not taken birth. Uh, these personalities will come later on and they will take those positions, but the positions are created. Just like I was thinking an example, say we form an organization. Like recently, I mean, maybe 7, 8 years back, we formed this organization. It's called Grand Rapids. Now we asked the lawyer, what all is needed to make this organization, and the lawyer said, you need 4 to 5 board of directors, you need a president, you need a treasurer, you need a secretary. So these are the people needed to start an organization. So they were created when we began the organization. And then there were people who filled in those roles. Somebody became the president, somebody became the director, somebody became treasurer, somebody became secretary. But then maybe after few years, the director role will always be there, president role will be there, secretary role will be there, but the people will change. Somebody else will become president, somebody else will become director, somebody else will become secretary, somebody else will become treasurer. Then again it will change, organization will continue, the the organization will continue, the services of the organization will continue, but the roles occupied by those organizations will change. Likewise, when the role is creating this universe, then the Lord is describing the roles, and who will take over those roles will change. Like another example that comes to my mind is from Bhagavatam, where Vyasadeva divided one Veda into 4. And then Vyasadeva made one person in charge of Rig Veda, or um, the the teacher or the acharya of Rig Veda, another Yajur Veda, another Samveda, another Atharva Veda. And then their descendant, they took charge of Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda. Then the descendants kept on going on. And there were different people who were in charge of these 4 Vedas. Again, that was a post, the in charge of this. Likewise, the Lord is creating, this is the creation of the universe. So the Lord is creating these different roles. Okay, there must be sun planet. There is need for sun god, or sun is a position. Then Vayu, who will control the wind? And wind, because of wind only sense of touch exists. Who will control the wind? Who will control the listening in this universe? Who will control? So these are created. They are created before Brahma existed. They are created. Um, then the Lord wanted to eat and drink. So the tongue came. And Varuna was put as in charge of the tongue. Varuna is also, all these things are post. Then the Lord desired to smell. Then the nose was created, and Ashwini Kumara posts were there, who will be in charge of smelling. Then the Lord wanted to speak, so the voice was created, and fire was the in charge of speech. Then Lord wanted to experience sensation, so hairs were created in his body, and Mahiruha was the Devata put as in charge. Then the Lord wanted to perform some activities, so the hand came out from the universal form, and Indra was put in charge. Now again, Indra was not created by the Lord. Indra is a post. Indra later on, after Brahma, then uh, mm, Kadama Muni and Devahuti. No, sorry. After Brahma, then Kashyap Muni and Aditi, and their son was Indra. Again, he was not Indra, his name was Purandara. And Purandara is the current Indra, I believe. And then the next Indra is Bali Maharaj. So that son later on, like we were discussing about the dynasty of Kardama, the dynasty of Manu, and one of the daughter of Kardama Muni and Devahuti is Anusuya. And through Anusuya and Atri Muni came Chandra. And Chandra later on became the ruler of moon planet. Um, um, yeah. Um, and uh, uh, Surya Dev, whose name is Vivaswan, he was born to Vishwakarma. So he was given the charge of sun planet. And Vishwakarma gave birth to Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a post. I don't remember the name of the person. And he is currently holding the post of Yamaraj. So in this way, different people, the people who were created are part of Visarga. But Sarga is a Lord creation. So all these roles were created by the Lord only. So when the Lord wanted to move, then the legs were created, and Upendra was put as the in charge. When the Lord wanted to have sex and bring offspring, Shishna, genitals basically. And when the Lord wanted to procreate, then genitals were created. And Prajapatis were put in charge. And Prajapati also is a post, like we said, Daksha Prajapati. And there are many Prajapatis who are taking that role of procreation. Um, then when the Lord wanted to expel waste, then Anus was created, and Mitra was the demigod in charge. When Lord wanted to change the body, then Navel was created because Navel helps to create new bodies. And Mrityur was the Devata in charge. When Lord wanted to consume food, then those intestines were created, Antarani. And Samudra was the post who is in charge of running those intestines. When Lord wanted to drink, then there is Nadia, Nada, which is like the veins which carry the water and drinks within the body. There are different intestines and there are different veins that are part of intestine. They carry water, and different things carry the food elements. So that Nadia that carries the water, um, the Devata in charge is Nadia. He is the Devata for rivers and veins. Then the Lord wanted to um, uh, contemplate his Maya, or think about or be engaged in his, or when he wanted to experience his own illusory energy. Then Hridayam was created, or which is Mana, mind was created, and the demigod who is in charge of the mind is Chandra, moon. Um, uh, he's in charge of Manaha. Uh, okay. So this is the description of Sarga. Again, the Sarga is this is all happening before Brahma came into existence. Mhm. The Lord came as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. He's also called by the name Narayan. And then he developed various desires when he wanted to walk, when he wanted to see, when he wanted to touch, when he wanted to experience sensation, when he wanted to eat, when he wanted to drink, when he wanted to reprocreate, or whatever the living entity, whatever the Lord desires, those desires now the living entity has. And we also hear that there is Devata who is in charge of all these um, various parts of the body, eyes, tongue, eyes. Suryadev is the in charge. That's why we see, if you go to Ayurveda and your eyes are weak, they will ask you to worship sun god, Suryadev. Or whatever you lack, any limb you lack, then the Ayurveda, then astrology, they will ask you to worship those devata who are in charge of those angas. And those posts were created by Garbha, so they are all part of Sarga. The positions are part of Sarga. Indra is a Sarga, not the Indra person, but the Indra post. That is Sarga, created by the Lord Himself. Then it says the senses naturally gravitate to sense object, and sense objects appear attractive because of false ego. This is nice. I thought of sharing. Bhagavatam says the senses gravitate to sense objects. हमारे जो senses है ना, they naturally gravitate to where the sense object is. The eyes want to see, sense want to touch, ears want to hear. So the senses naturally gravitate to sense object, and the sense objects appear attractive because of false ego. Why the sense objects appear attractive? Because of false ego. Means I am this body. Because of false ego, the sense objects are very attractive. But when one becomes pure and free from false ego, then the sense objects and does not appeal to a pure devotee at all. And only Krishna appeals to him because the heart becomes purified. So Bhagavatam says this is basically Brahma telling to Narada the way this world is created. So this is whole conversation between Brahma and Narad Muni. Narad Muni asked, what is Bhagavatam? What did you hear from the Lord? And Brahmaji explains about the 10 topics, and he is explaining the Sarga in detail. Okay, so that's the summary. And then there are last few verses that we can discuss in maybe 5 minutes more quickly, and that is called Visarga. This is very simple. Visarga is um, the Lord accepted the form of Brahma, the Lord accepted the form of Shiva, and the Lord accepted the form of Vishnu. And these are called the Guna avatars of Krishna. We hear that Krishna has many kinds of incarnation. And through um, um, Rajogun avatar of Krishna is Brahma. And through Brahma, based on the 3 modes of material nature, there are humans who are in mode of passion, there are animals or lower uh, planetary people in the lower planetary systems, humans in earthly planet influenced by mode of passion, lower planet mode of ignorance, devatas, manus, prajapatis, mode of goodness. So Lord Gunavatar, Rajogunavatar is Brahma, and Brahma creates using the Panch Mahabhutas. He gives based on the karma and the desire of the jiva, the spirit soul, the subtle body of the spirit soul, which is coming from the past life or from the past kalpa. They are given an appropriate body, and the body is mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and they are created. So the 3 modes create different living entities, demigods, which is all part of Visarga. All this thing happens under Brahma's direction. All living entities are produced under Brahma direction, and the living entities are in 3 modes. We see the cow is mode of goodness. We see monkey and lion is mode of passion, ignorance. That's why monkey eats or lion eats flesh, mode of ignorance. Cow eats only grass, mode of goodness. Monkey. So even so, the first animal kingdom is generally mode of ignorance. Human kingdom is generally mode of passion, and Devata kingdom is generally mode of goodness. First, there is first level of distinction. Then there is one more layer of influence of 3 modes. Within humans also, who are generally mode of passion, human beings in earth, Krishna says those who die in passion take birth as humans. Those who die in goodness takes birth in as devatas. Those who die in ignorance takes birth in animal species or in hell. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So among humans also, there are mode of goodness, there is mode of passion, there is mode of ignorance, and they are changing those modes also. Among Devata also, there is mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Um, like Rahu, Ketu are mode of ignorance, but they are Devatas. They want to fight or defeat sun and moon. That's why this eclipse comes. Then there is mode of passion. We see even Surya Dev, who is worshipable, and he was attracted to one of the Devata's wife, and he begot a children to one of Devata's wife. So passion is there. Indra has passion. That's why he become very scared if somebody is performing austerities or he likes the apsaras. Um, so passion is there. So Devata, generally Devatagan is mode of goodness, but there also ignorance, passion, goodness is there. Like Brahma, Narada, they are also Devatas, higher beings. But Narada, Brahma, they are pure devotees of the Lord and had no interest in material activities, completely pure. So Devata, human, lower, animal, all based on the three modes, and then further division of three modes. And which body one gets is based on one's past life. If I die in ignorance, then I will be given a body of a similar type. Like Prabhupada says, if we have a desire to sleep, then we take the body of a bear, mode of ignorance, sleep for 6 months. If we perform, if we die in goodness, then we take a heavenly body, devatas. Again, it's not pure goodness, but mix, and that's the type of body we take. So all these things, who gets what kind of body and what are the 8.4 million types of bodies, all these things is taken care by the Lord in the form of his Guna avatar as Brahma. And it is also described, Bhagavatam, Brahma himself tells, this is Brahma actually speaking to, to Narada, all these things. Okay. And then the Lord takes the form of Rudra to completely annihilate. And that is also the part, that is also Nirodha we discussed. But this is all, okay. Um, Visarga section. Secondary, what Brahma does, secondary creation. Then Brahma says that some devotees appreciate the Lord because he is the creator, but the greater devotees appreciate him not only because he is just a creator, but because of the pastimes he performs. So some people say God is great and see the trees and see the creation and God is so great. But others says God is so great because Krishna performs his pastimes with cowherd boys, with the gopis, with Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan, Braja Leelas. So devotees, one kind of devotees, they appreciate the Lord because the Lord is a creator, but the greater devotees or higher kind of devotees, they appreciate the Lord because of the Lord's pastimes. Sarga happens before the big Brahma's life. That's when Sarga happens. And Visarga happens at the beginning of Brahma's day. So Sarga is created once and finished, once and for all. But every day when Brahma sleeps, everything is destroyed. All living entities in the lower 10 planetary systems are destroyed. Then Brahma comes and again he creates everything. Again everything is destroyed. Again he creates everything. Again everything is destroyed. So Visarga happens or secondary creation happens. It happens throughout, but mainly it happens at the beginning of Brahma's day. Visarga, secondary creation. But primary creation happens only at the beginning of Brahma's life, when the Lord himself creates. Okay, so um, uh, that's about it. And the last 2-3 verses then, um, again, Sonak Rishi this is Sonak Rishi and all the sages they are hearing from Sutta Goswami. And the Sonak Rishi inquires from Sutta Goswami that you said that Vidura, he went on a pilgrimage. Can you please describe me where all did Vidura go and whom all did he meet? Um, mm, and you also describe um, about Vidura meeting Maitreya. Can you describe about what conversation took place between Vidura and Maitreya? Can you describe why Vidura gave up his family? Can you describe why he came back? You said he came back and he delivered Dhritarashtra, but why did he come back? Can you describe what were the activities of Vidura while he was on a pilgrimage? Um, and the last was described that Sutta Goswami became very pleased with these questions. And Sutta Goswami says, Maharaj Parikshit asked the same question to Sukadev Goswami, and I will describe the conversation, the samvad between Vidura and Maitreya, as it was described by um, Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. So this is the end of the second canto. And the third canto begins with a conversation between Vidura and Maitreya that continues for two canto, that conversation. And then many things comes in the third canto. In the beginning, Vrindavan pastimes comes further. Vidura whole discussion comes, and then Lord Kapila, Kardama Muni, Devahuti, teachings of Lord Kapila, all these things comes in the third canto. Okay, so that was the last chapter of second canto. Any discussion? Any questions? Were you able to understand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Then pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, one small inquiry. When we
Bhagavad-
see that the Lord desired to feel the heat and cold, so
Ah,
the skin was created like that way,
mm,
and there was a position created for that. So,
mm,
Prabhuji, like Vayudev came, like something like that. But
mm.
Prabhuji, we hear that all are born from Brahmaji, and but this happened before Brahmaji. So is it like position was there, but it was filled by Brahmaji later on, like that, filled through Brahmaji later on.
Yes, position were created, but like Indra position is there. But then Upendra or Purandara is not born yet. Or
Yes.
sun is there, but Vivaswan is not born yet. So Vivaswan is not a part of Sarga or the creation by the Lord, but he was under the dynasty of Brahmaji. Even
So that
Vayu
comes under Visarga.
Visarga, yeah, because see Prabhuji, Indra appeared to Aditi and keeps on changing. Then Sarga cannot change. Whatever is created by Lord is forever, means till the time universe is there, created. Even Brahma is the only one who is the part of Sarga, creation by the Lord. Everything else is Visarga.
Got it. Yes, right.
Complex, right? But very nice. Bhagavatam is purifying no matter what we discuss, whether it's about the Lord or by the Lord or anything.
Yes, Prabhuji, it connects with the mood that he exists everywhere. Like he's everything, he's everywhere. So that way
Mm.
it helps Prabhuji, yeah.
Mm. Also, like some are directly connected to Krishna and his pure devotees, and some are like Prabhupada says. But the discussion right now was the process of creation, how the universe came into existence. What did Garbhodakshai Vishnu do? When did Brahma come? When was these positions created? At what point of time? Or is it like, or did Brahma create the sun god position, or did Narayan create the sun god position? So gives clarity into the process of creation itself. And Prabhupada describes the process of creation is not different from the pastimes of Krishna. Prabhupada says everything about Bhagavatam is pure because these are activities of the Lord. Everything is centered around the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's clarifying. Okay, anything else? Any other question, discussion?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranamata.
So, Prabhuji, it means that the example you gave in the beginning of the class, like that temple, you had different poses. So, like that the organization was created in short in by Sarga, right? And the raw material was provided. I had heard in one lecture that raw material was provided, and then out of that raw material, the further product was created in the Visarga by Brahma. Is that correct? My understanding?
Correct. Yes. So basic infrastructure given, and Brahma has to fill, and Brahma has to take charge and keeps changing. You keep filling and replacing. Visarga includes filling those positions, and all the people who are created. Everything is Visarga later on. Infrastructure is provided.
So system was formed, and then Brahma just carried on that system to form the
Yes.
people, like the in charge.
Yeah. Brahmaji did not create the ability to see, the ability to touch, the ability to procreate. That Brahma, he was born with all these abilities. Brahmaji could see, Brahmaji could touch, Brahmaji could smell, and that's why they said all these senses, the senses are part of Sarga, not Visarga, created by the Lord Himself. And from that form of the Lord, when Brahmaji comes, he comes with all these things and he created. And so all these abilities are created by the Lord.
Yeah, clear, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other question on Sarga, Visarga, or uh, anything else? All right. Thank you all for joining. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। धन्यवाद प्रणाम, हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू, हरि बोल।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
थैंक यू माता, हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat pranam.
थैंक यू अलका माता जी, हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
थैंक यू गिरीश प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण।